Jai Hind, viewers, we welcome you back for another episode of Expert Opinion from MRO Digest Forums. Today we have with us one of our very important members, Mr. Arun Krishna. He is a BTech mechanical from NIT Kurukshetra and MBA Finance. He has extensive experience in avionics industry in planning, manufacturing, MRO, lean assembly and testing. He specializes in technology, R&D, engineering, strategic project management, collaboration, problem solving. He is a member industry in Academic Council of Rajakiya Engineering College, Ambedkar Nagar, and member board of studies in Kamla Nehru Institute of Technology, Sultanpur. He holds many certifications, which include Independent Director from IICA, Managing the Company of the Future, Design Thinking for Innovation, and Supply Chain Principles. He has kindly consented to talk to us today on the subject of MRO of avionics as a career option. So, Mr. Arun, may I just ask you the first question? What do you think is the importance of avionics in aviation industry and its future? Mr. Arun, please.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jastage, and good morning to all the members of the MRO Digest Forum. Before we start discussing about the avionics in detail and their opportunities, what is the actually discussion point today? I just want to brief about what is avionics, why it is important for the aviation sector, and how it helped the maneuverability by the pilot for the aircraft, and how critical it is, because unless we understand all this, we will not fully appreciate what avionics does actually in the aircraft or in the aviation or in UAV or in commercial aircraft, defense aircraft, any other place. So basically avionics terms came from the electronics which are used in the aviation. So that is how this avionics terms have come. Now this avionics, now no modern day aircraft, it's complete without the presence of the avionics, whether it is a commercial aircraft or it is a fighter aircraft. Now, if we go back into the history and start seeing from the 19th century and then come to 20th century, the start of 20th century actually were only few instruments through which the aircraft were maneuvered, like airspeed indicators and altimeters were only the few instruments through which the pilots gets the access to, and he maneuvers the aircraft. Now, as the days go by, in the 30s and 40s, the radio navigation system came into being. It uses the radio frequency to basically locate the position of the aircraft and find how it is moving. Then came automatic direction finder, very high frequency, omnidirectional range. All this has helped pilot in those days to maneuver the aircraft and precisely do the navigation during the flight course of the aircraft. In the 50s, the radar technology came into being, and through radar technology, pilot is able to observe the other aircrafts, the surrounding landscapes, all that. So this has basically improved the access to the pilot to safely and securely maneuver the aircraft and land the aircraft safely. Then in the 60s, the inertial navigation system came. And this inertial navigation system uses the gyros and acceleros through which the aircraft is able to locate its position in space without the external source, like we were using in the radio navigation system and all that. So this navigation system came into being. Then in the 70s, the electronic flight displays comes, because instead of mechanical instrumentation, all this information of the aircraft has been displayed on the display system, like multifunctional display, synthetic displays, whichever is there in the aircraft. Now, when I am talking about all this, there were few instruments which are relevant to commercial aircraft. There are few instruments which are relevant to fighter aircrafts. Now, commercial aircraft only needs navigation, only needs flight information in the real time for the pilots, whereas in the fighter aircraft, you need, in addition to all this which I have told, there are many things like, and their parameters requirement and the duration is also different, because commercial flights goes for the longer duration, whereas the fighter aircraft fly only for maximum of 1 hour or 1.5 hours. So depending upon this, the requirement of the avionics system also gets changed. Now, then came the flight management system in the 80s, then in the 90s and 2000, the global positioning system came into being, where the navigation system takes the help of the satellites, and through which it finds the actual location of the aircraft and the actual position, as these 8 satellites provides a continuous flow of coordinates through which the aircraft is able to precisely locate where it is at present. Then came, see, all this avionics, the purpose of this is basically to help pilot to maneuver the aircraft in a simpler manner. He should not have enough load while flying the aircraft. So technology is improving and improving in the avionics sector, just to help pilot to improve their maneuverability for the aircraft. Now then, earlier there were head down displays like multifunctional displays and all that. Then head up display also being introduced in the 90s and 2000s, and through which pilot is not supposed to move its head down or see here and there. Instead of that, he can see in the front field of view, so, and continuously concentrate on the aircraft direction and the aircraft front field of view. Then the other important avionics system is the flight data recorder. Now, this flight data recorder is very, very important in view of the any incident or accident which happens during the course of flying. And here also there are different requirements for the commercial, which normally the people called as a black box. In commercial aircraft, it requires around longer duration of flight data recording, and it's a storage. So its storage should be more than the fighter aircraft. So in the commercial aircraft, the digital flight data recorder which are available is able to record for 25 hours continuously, and it can handle maximum of 90 or 20 parameters during the course of the flight. It basically records the pilot's voice, the altitude, the air speed, and all that. So it records basically what is happening in the aircraft during the course of flying. Then these evolutions or these developments are not limited to only the aircraft. This can be used in the UAVs also. This can be used in the spacecraft also. And as the days goes by, the miniaturization has become the requirement in the avionics system. And because the weight requirement is less, so continuously there is an effort to reduce the weight through miniaturization of the electronics and avionics systems. So this basically are the history, and in brief, I told you about the avionics systems.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Arun. So looking at it globally, avionics MRO specifically, what do you think is the global perspective, and can you give us some idea of the market size? Mr. Arun, please.
Yeah. See, if you talk about the global perspective of this aircraft MRO, or you can call avionics MRO and anything. In up to last year, in the 2022, the global MRO market, aircraft MRO market, is something to the tune of 79 billion US dollar. And it is predicted that in the next 10 years or up to 2030, it is supposed to expand at the cumulative annual growth rate of around roughly 5%. And it is expected to reach to around 120 billion US dollar. So this is the size of the market which we are seeing in the MRO, aircraft MRO. Now, how this is happening and why it is happening is because of the rapid urbanization, rising economic growth in the emerging countries with increased business and travel. Uh, so these are expected to increase exponentially over the coming period. Now, various other factors such as traffic volumes, global fleet size, aircraft utilization are the factors which significantly affect the market. Now, if you see from the Indian perspective, recently Indian companies or Indian aircraft owners have ordered around 1100 aircrafts, which will be delivered in next 5 years. So you can see the volume of the aircraft which is coming to this region, or globally also it is rising. Then there is another factor, that rise in the investment in the aircraft MRO. Now, government has opened up the FDI for the MRO sector also, and that is how this sector is increasing. And recently you have seen that Saffron has came for engine joint venture for manufacturing of engine and MRO of engine. Like many Indian companies are collaborating with the OEMs for the MRO activities also, because it is very, very difficult in the present circumstances to contact OEM, send the instrument to OEM for repair and overall, which takes longer duration of time. So this MRO is now has become a focus for the Indian companies or for the global companies, and that is how this market is increasing. Now, coming back, how this what actually consists. So there are we only think, if we talk about the MRO, we only think that it is only the repair. It is only the repair of the instrument, but there are many, many things which becomes part of the MRO, like maintenance tracking, logbook tracking, flight time tracking, service bulletin scheduling, budget forecasting, and then electronic task, work order management. So these are also part of the MRO activities. So these are the area. Why I'm explaining this is, these are other areas other than the repair of the avionics systems or instrument systems, which creates an opportunity for different level of people for this MRO sector. Now, this rise in demand all over the world, and particularly in the Asian region, if you see the total MRO market world over, Asian region constitute around 34% of the MRO market. So this is a huge, and it is one of the biggest market all over the world if you talk about the Asian region. And in Asian region, India is a significant player. So that is how this market is going. And since the addition of the aircraft, the people choice for travel, from moving from one area to another area, this has also become a catalyst for fleet increase and all that. So this is how this global market is there for the aviation MRO sector.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arun, for that. So, the way you have explained, the way the market is changing, there are a lot of opportunities which are bound to emerge globally and more importantly within our country.
Yeah.
And do you think that this way the market is developing, there will be a greater need for specialists in avionics MRO? And what are the prospects for that as a career? Mr. Arun, please.
Yeah. Now, before we jump into career opportunities and in the aviation MRO or avionics MRO, I will also like to tell that MRO industry is also facing challenges. So first we will discuss about the challenges which the MRO industry is facing, like workforce supply, rise in labor cost, lack of experienced workforce, reduced interest of the technical graduates which are now coming out from the engineering colleges. Their interest is more on the white collar jobs like IT sector and all that, irrespective of the branch in which they are doing their course. Their more inclination is towards the IT sector. So these are few challenges, uh, but this is expected to offset the aircraft maintenance, repair, and overhaul. For MRO operators, right sourcing and outsourcing are the two options, I think, that will be very, very relevant for the service providers in the coming days. Now, as far as the opportunities are concerned, see, engine overhaul is expected to grow because aircraft can have two engines also, four engines also, and with the volume of the aircraft which every country or every region or globally it is handling, you can imagine the extent of the and the volume of the aircraft engine overhaul. So this is one biggest area which needs focus and which is being focused now. The Asian market, if you see, 1/3 of the global aircraft fleet is in Asian region. So when I talk about the opportunities, I will particularly focus on the Indian market or the Asian market, where our people can get the opportunity in these sectors. Now, eh, eh, see, this avionics system, which I explained, that is why I explained in the first your question, that we need to understand that these avionics systems are very, very critical for the aircraft maneuvering. And therefore, it is very, very critical as far as the MRO is also concerned. So its repair, overhaul, and maintenance also requires a lot of skills, lot of understanding of the system, lot of understanding about the functionalities of the system. So it is very, very important that this, and there is no dearth of technical people as far as if you talk about the India. Around 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs engineers are coming out every year. And I was just going through the articles where many colleges are now coming up with the aircraft maintenance training as a part of the curriculum in their syllabus. So these are also been focused, and now these colleges or professional colleges, institutions are able to recognize the importance of this sector. And that is how they are coming up with the many courses which will help our engineers to focus and get specialization in this sector. So once we get through this, there are and these getting these specialized people are not very easy also. So once you get in, it will require a lot of efforts to make them a specialist for a particular systems. Now, as far as the opportunities are concerned, we talk about the volume, we talk about the business, we talk about the prospects which are ahead with us for around from 79 billion US dollars to 120 billion US dollars. So there are a lot of opportunities for our people to get engaged in these sectors. And I don't see, because there are many specialized area. Like if you talk about the technology, there are the LCD, liquid crystal displays, which has another technology. The flight data recording systems, which is it has another technology. The navigation systems, it has another technology. So every avionics systems in the aircraft has different technology, and therefore we need a specialist in different areas. So there are a lot of scopes, and I don't see that there is any issue as far as the scope and opportunities for the young graduates or further technical people for this avionics MRO system?
Thank you very much, Mr. Arun. You have given us a complete holistic picture of the MRO, avionics industry indigenously and globally. And more importantly, you have given the very clear places where we need more avionics MRO professionals and how the institutions themselves are preparing them for that. So with that, viewers, we come to an end to this particular episode of MRO Digest Forum's expert opinion. And we will be coming back to you for more such opinions in future also from our members. We thank you for being with us. The link to Mr. Arun's LinkedIn profile is there in the show notes below. You are welcome to get in touch with him if you want to find out more about what he has said. You're welcome to subscribe to our channel if you find the material useful. We look forward to having you back with us in future. We are a platform for MRO professionals, and if you are an MRO professional, you're welcome to join us. And with that, after once again thanking Mr. Arun Krishna for this excellent interview which he has given us, I thank you viewers also, and we bring this particular episode to a close. Jai Hind.